Welcome to Real Time, Florida Sportsman. This week, we're looking for cobia and permit. It's time to find the shortest route to the hottest bite. We scan Florida Sportsman's regional forums for the best fishing reports, then travel to make real anglers our local guides.
Give me some of that!
Together, we let you in on secret spots and hometown moves.
That's what I'm talking about!
Oh yeah, she's done for now.
This week, we're fishing out of St. Lucie Inlet. It's wintertime, and we're fishing for cobia and permit. Is that them right there on the surface?
That's them right there next to that anchored up boat. Come on.
Ah!
That's a nice one.
Oh my goodness. All coming up on Real Time, Florida Sportsman. We're back in my home waters at Jensen Beach. We're fishing out of St. Lucie Inlet. You know, it's February, wintertime, and this area is probably known more for sail fishing, but when conditions are right, you can get on these nearshore numbers and target cobia and permit. After a couple years of filming in real time, we've never caught a cobia or a permit on the show. And you know, looking around the state, the Keys is probably more known for its permit fishing, but the southeast section has its own little jewel, its own little gem. This inshore numbers that hold tons of permits certain times of the year. And looking at the forum, Pat Price, aka DayMaker in the southeast section of Florida Sportsman Forum is on them. This type of fishing can be really visual, and it's really important to have a high sun. Knowing that, we met up with Pat at midday at the marina. Southeast section, Florida Sportsman Forum, Pat Price. You're down a cobia bite. What do you think?
It's been pretty good. It's a good time of year for them. Fish start showing up in January. We have some pretty good fishing on the beaches for them. We've had a swell the last couple of days, so a lot of the fish have moved offshore to our inshore wrecks. We've got a great artificial reef program here in, out of the St. Lucie Inlet, and it's been a lot of fish around.
So live bait,
and jigs. Live bait and jigs, crabs, you name it, they'll eat it. We just got to find where they're moving around to today, and then once we locate them, it should be a lot of fun.
Breaking the inlet, we can see the conditions are not exactly perfect, but definitely doable. The great thing about this fishery is that these inshore numbers are pretty close, you know, several miles off the beach. So, you know, with this nice high sun, you know, a little bit of clouds, we know it's definitely doable. Coming up to our first spot, I'm telling you, I'm not kidding you, coming off a plane, you know, a couple hundred yards away, you could see a school of permit. Pulling up here to the sand pile, pretty popular spot, well known. Some other boats here looking for some permit, maybe some cobes. Get a crab ready. Is that them right there on the surface?
That's them right there next to that anchored up boat. Over here about 70 yards, right on the surface. Big pile of permit.
And
Fish have been averaging about 35 pounds here. We see some bigger, 40, 50 pounds. So
they're not little fish.
No.
These permit love crabs. They're just chucking a big crab on a jig head. Hopefully get bit.
Let it sink down into the school. They'll munch on it. You'll feel your spool accelerate. Close your bail and come tight. See where they went, Cap?
I'm right in them.
I think my jig's sinking too fast. Oh, I got bit.
You got bit?
Yep. Oh, man.
Pat says our jig's maybe a little too heavy. You know, we scale back the leader. I went to this Berkeley fluorocarbon, I dropped it down to a 20 pound, and I was using these jig heads. I was half ounce, but he thinks we're sinking through them too fast. Says you want just to flutter down through them?
You want your crab to flutter a little bit, you know. If you just get us diving down, the crab can't swim, maybe gets through the school a little quickly. So I've gone down to a 1/4 ounce jig head here, which is what I'm normally throwing on my boat, and we'll
right
see if we can't get a bite.
Right there in front of us, right up on the surface. 5 minutes into fishing, just several casts into it, we had our first permit on. I'm on. Doesn't feel like one. Oh, man, maybe it is one. No, it doesn't feel like one.
That's him.
Doesn't feel like it, did it?
It's him now. Pretty work, Cap.
Something's waking up. Problem is out here is there's so many bull sharks. Whatever you get, you better get it in a hurry.
See if we can get up on top of them. There's a lot of bull sharks around here this time of year, and they certainly take advantage of a fish that's hooked up, unfortunately, but it's part of the food cycle. It's exciting when it happens, but it's nice to be able to let them go as well, unharmed.
All right, so the crazy thing about this fishery is the bull sharks, and these things are mean. You know, 400-pound bull sharks, and the problem is when you hook one of these permit or one of these cobia, they're gonna get chased, so you have to be prepared for it. And it didn't take long, and I tell you what, that bull shark was after my permit.
There's a shark.
Oh,
There's
it's a shark.
Big bull shark.
Big bull shark. Crank.
Here's a
Still
permit.
got him.
Here's a permit right here. Get a pet. Big shark.
There she is, baby.
Yeah.
Nice going
We
there, Capt.
literally just came out here looking for cobia. You know what?
Fish is probably about 15 or 18 pounds.
The bull shark
Get
was
that jig out.
all over him. Oh my God. Shark was
pretty
all over
insane.
him.
Fish made a couple of evasive maneuvers, a little bit of boat driving, and we got him.
You know, Pat said we had to be ready out here. Brought some crabs out. You have to be prepared when you come out to these places. This is what they love to eat is crabs. You gotta have some crabs.
And the sharks love to eat permit.
Oh my God, you saw that bull shark
That
come
was
up on
pretty
him?
awesome. Pretty awesome. Beautiful fish, good eating. We're gonna let this one go. Woo! All right, let's catch another one.
Yes!
I want one.
This segment brought to you by Yo-zuri, fish the best.
So our tactic was to drift this bottom structure. You know, there's a lot of current, a lot of wind today. Doesn't take long to get out of position. So we went to get reset, and on the way back up, we saw a school of cobia.
There they are.
Where?
Straight away.
Oh, got him, nice. Here we go. Watch this.
I'm on. Cobia on, baby.
You got him
Sand
on?
Pile, Florida. Let's get him. So we're looking for the permit again, and we're at the sand pile, and we see a bull shark with about 8 cobias.
They're all about 10 times this size.
Yeah. Out of all the big cobias we saw on the shark, this little guy got to our pilchard first. A beautiful specimen of a juvenile cobia. They've got to be 33 inches to the fork to keep, so this guy obviously doesn't qualify. There's some nice fish there.
there
We
were
had
some
a
big
30-pounder follow this one up.
God.
And there's some really nice fish with them. So we'll see if we can find that shark again. He was just free swimming on the surface. And we'll let this guy go to grow up.
Pat, tell everybody what this sand pile is.
Well, it's the old dredgings from the St. Lucie Inlet. I would say 8 or 10 years ago, they dredged the inlet and they dynamited out a basin, a catch basin for all the sand. And all the stone and the sand that they dredged the inlet with, they brought out here and dumped in 50 foot of water to make a reef. And it's turned out to be an awesome habitat for a variety of species, snapper, cobia, permit. And this time of year, we have some really exciting fishing that goes on, primarily sight fishing for cobia and permit. And we got here, we caught a permit right away, just caught a cobia. We've been here about a half hour. There's a lot of big fish cruising around. We caught a couple of the smaller ones, so we're gonna upgrade.
I like the sound of that. And this is real visual. I mean, talk about something, you know, fun to do. It doesn't get any better than this.
No.
Just circling around, looking for them on the surface. Sharks on the surface, these permit are just balled up. It's just incredible.
And the permit are real cool. Even you see we're in a flats boat. You don't need a tower to find these fish. They, you look like a giant green ball swimming through the water. And if you get the sun behind you, occasionally you'll see them flash like somebody's holding a mirror underwater. And that's a good indicator of where to go. Crabs and shrimp both work well. Crabs seem to be their preferred bait. Sometimes crabs are harder to come by than the fish themselves.
Yeah. So you can target these cobia several different ways. You know, a lot of times you just see them free swimming on the surface. You know, we target them on manta rays, they get on turtles. You know, but probably something that's unique to this area that I haven't seen anyplace else is we target them on bull sharks and big bull sharks. It's amazing. They'll follow behind, just packs of cobia will follow behind these big old bull sharks.
We're fishing on the bull shark, on the bull shark. Right over here, dude. 50 yards. Gotta get over there. It's 40 pounders. You gotta drive, George.
All right, I gotta be honest. We screwed it up a couple times. We had perfect opportunities. These fish swam right up to the boat. You know, I was throwing baits off. Pat was pulling mullets out of their mouth. We messed up a couple times. It took us a while. Finally, everything worked out, and Pat hooked up to one of the bigger fish.
Pat's hooked up. Let me tell you how many times we messed this up. The power of editing, they have swam up to us 4 times.
George, what have you thrown your bait off? About 6?
Yeah, I have. It's. You see how excited I get? Pat's, he's pretty calm.
Yeah, my office changes every day. This stuff never gets old, buddy.
We're getting away from the sharks.
You just worry about getting a net.
I'm gonna worry about getting the gaff. Is it gaffable?
Oh yeah, yeah, he is. Nice shot, baby. Nice work, Cap. Nice work. Dinner is served, boys.
Woo!
Fishing Stuart, Florida for cobia and permit on the sand pile. Doesn't get any better than this.
What a nice fish.
That's a pretty fish. She'll eat over the regulation, probably about 12 inches.
Perfect size. These things can get pretty mean when they're on the deck.
Oh yeah, yeah, they can get really, really crazy on the boat and on the deck. You can see here, if I just touch them, these little spikes come up here. That's their defense mechanism, and they are gnarly. One thing these things will do a lot of times, if I didn't put such a hurting on them with the rod, is they will roll like an alligator on the gaff, and they'll come off a lot of times in the boat and beat the boat up. They'll go one way, but as soon as you touch them on their back, pop up.
That's
serious
incredible.
defense mechanism. Hard head too. Try not to gaff them right in the head. Gaff them in the gills where George did, or right above the belly and the pec fin.
Let's throw him in the Yeti.
Welcome aboard. Real time. Oh, got me.
This segment is brought to you by Power Pole. Swift, silent, secure.
After landing that cobia, we could still see that giant school of permit just a couple hundred yards away. So we made our way back over there.
Come on, eat my wiggler. Just got bit.
You got bit?
Yep. Permit on, baby.
Permit on!
Oh, that's a nice one. It's a nice one.
So right off the bat, you could tell this is definitely a bigger permit. You know, Pat is really putting a lot of heat on this fish, trying to keep him away from the sharks.
These permit aren't here year round, are they?
No, sir. We see them show up in January, February. It seems like they've been showing up earlier and earlier every year here lately. But our weather's been so mild the last couple of years in December and January. I think they've arrived a little early. And we'll see them be here through June. They'll be in various spots. You'll catch them on the beaches. You'll catch them here, other wrecks. Not as much pressure as we want to put on this fish here with 20-pound leader. Hoping he doesn't brush up against one of his buddies. You can see the school right here. Oh, I can feel him pinging the line.
Oh my God, let me throw right in the middle of them.
I can feel him pinging the line. It's right here, George, 25 feet.
Oh, that's a little better one there.
Son,
That one's full grown. Ugh.
that's a nice one.
Oh my goodness. Man, people travel all the way down to the Keys to catch these things. We got it right here in Stuart,
Don't
Florida.
have to go much further. Pretty sick fishing we got going on here from January through June, I would say. Just need the right conditions and good lighting really helps, which we got today.
Oh,
That's a nice one there.
that one's full grown. Let's let it get him back in the water.
You know, this school of permit actually got pushed down several different times and made it difficult to find them. You know, there's a lot of boats running around on top of them, and that has a tendency to make them pretty skittish. But we got reset back up. Pat got a good cast into him, and he was hooked back up again.
That's on.
Got him on.
So I'm from Stuart too. I mean, this place is absolutely incredible. I mean, I've fished all around the whole state. Probably one of the better places in the whole state. I mean, how long have you been fishing this area yourself?
Well, I was born and raised here in '79. Been fishing professionally for 20 years. And it's one of the most diverse ecosystems that I know of between the river and offshore here. Catch anything and everything, and big
Yeah.
stuff too.
It's pretty incredible.
A lot of fun. We're just 3 miles off the beach. You could pick a number of probably 30 spots around here within 3 or 4 miles of the inlet that you can do kind of stuff like this. And it's just exciting fishing. Doesn't get much better.
The crazy thing is it's February.
Yeah.
The rest of the country is practically snowed in. And we're out here in shorts.
Shorts and
Flip-flops.
t-shirts, yeah. Having a good old time. 70 degrees and sunny.
So we're throwing silver dollar sized crabs at these things. What else will they eat?
Well, that's the preferred bait, but if you can't come across those or get those on your hands, shrimp will work. You don't want to go with a jumbo shrimp, a medium-sized shrimp. Break the tail off and hook them through the tail and you're good to go.
Oh, there he went.
Palm
Just
Beach
pulled the
release.
hook.
So the light was getting low, conditions were no longer conducive for sight casts in these permit. We decided to change tactics up a bit, switch techniques. We were gonna kind of drift through here, put some baits down at the bottom, mid-level, and on top, and look for the cobia. 1 or 2 drifts into it, I got the bite on the bottom. I dropped the bait down to the bottom. It didn't take long. A little cobia. You know, the thing on these smaller fish is don't gaff. I mean, you see so many people come out here and stick these things. Something like this that's questionable.
We call it observation gaffing.
Observation gaffing.
He's too short. We're gonna let him go. We'll get him up here.
You hold their fins down the side and they just kind of stop moving around. If you have them on the deck and do the same thing, they quit moving. Ah, little guy.
Number 3. Nice job, George.
It's time
Is
to
that your
upgrade.
first one of the day? See you, buddy.
Nice. So we gave it some more time, drifted around, the bite really slowed, the light was getting really low. We decided to call it a night. So I met Pat out for some dinner and some cold drinks. We talked about our techniques for the following day, the game plan. We decided we want to try to change things up a little bit, maybe throw more artificials, but again, look for cobia and permit.
This segment is brought to you by Yeti Coolers. Wildly stronger, keeps ice longer.
In this week's tip, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of using polarized sunglasses. You know, whether you're inshore or offshore, red fishing or offshore looking for permit like we were in this week's episode, the ability to see into the water is key to the success of catching these fish. Not only is it going to help me look into the water and see these schools of fish, it's also going to protect your eyes. While you're on the water, you're exposed to harmful UVA and UVB rays that do lasting damage to your eyes. Having polarized lenses protect your eyes from that. Another thing you want to consider when choosing a good pair of polarized glasses is the lens color. Just know this, the darker the lens color, less visible light in, less contrast, lighter the lens, more visible light, more contrast. So these are just a couple things to consider when choosing a great pair of polarized sunglasses. So day 2, conditions are pretty similar as far as the wind and the seas, a little bit more cloud cover, but today we're getting an early start. All right, first spot.
First spot, I'm excited.
Drop
First
some
light,
jigs down.
early bird gets the worm. There's been some cobias around here, so hopefully there's a few here. There's some bait here, so that's a good indication.
Yeah, we
life,
pulled up, saw some sardines,
on top, so I'm thinking it's gonna be a good spot. Let's catch some fish.
Let's jig it. Just all the way to the bottom?
All the way to the bottom, work it back through the water column. What's gonna happen when you're jigging, you want a big jig, but only a crank or a half a crank. You don't want to crank all your slack in, so the jig actually has an opportunity to fall. What's gonna end up happening is the cobias are gonna hit it on the fall, so the next time you go to jig, you're actually setting the hook.
We bounced around a couple other spots, you know, trying to throw jigs onto the bottom, looking for that cobia bite. Unfortunately, nothing happened. We ended up back in the same spot we were the day before.
So we came in here and anchored up again. A couple of spots offshore had divers on it today. So come back to where we were fishing yesterday, and we've got some bull sharks swimming around the boat, and we're hoping to see a couple cobias on them here. Catch them on our jigs, see if we can get lucky, get jiggy with it.
It didn't take long and the sharks showed up, and this is the conditions, just what you want. This is perfect for jig fishing. Unfortunately though, we were not seeing these cobias on the backs of these sharks. We did have a couple lines out, some baits out the back on flat lines, and you know what? One of those got bit.
We just hooked a cobia here on the flat line, and the sharks are on them. Well, we're in total free spool here now. Hopefully he'll outrun the shark and relax, and we can get on him and catch him here before the shark gets him. If I don't run out of line first.
Coming back this way.
It's right here.
These cobias are actually right on these sharks, just like they're on the rays. And they'll swim, you know, symbiotically for a while, but I tell you, when you hook one of these cobia, those sharks will turn on them, won't they, Pat?
Yeah, it depends on the ratio, really. We haven't seen a lot of cobias here today, but one shark could have 10 or 12 fish on it, and numbers are in your favor.
Oh, yeah.
It's rolling like a gator. You're good at gapping in the gills, I like that. Well, what are you doing now?
Dude, I'm getting out of the way.
Oh, you saw how they roll like an alligator. They can get pretty gnarly on a gaff.
That's not a bad one there. You know, we pulled back up in the same spot we were in yesterday. Throwing some jigs, put some baits out.
Had a bite on flat line. What we did, there while we were anchored up, with the sharks being around like they were and being outnumbered here, we ended up detaching from the anchor and chasing the fish down. We actually free spooled him so he could outrun the sharks while they were on his tail. When he outruns them and gets relaxed, you can get above him and catch him again. Got to be ready to throw your anchor though.
So many guys come in here, sitting here, and just all day long hook them and lose them to sharks. There's no sense in coming here and using tackle that you can't stop the fish with, or you don't have an anchor ball to get away from the sand pile.
It's got a full belly there, probably full of crabs.
Whew!
The bite was slowing down. We had a lot of fish to clean back at the dock, so we decided just to call it a day. Pat Price, aka DayMaker, in the southeast section of the Florida Sportsman Forum, is highly recognized in this area for his bottom fishing and pelagic skills offshore. It's because of his posts, his reports I chose him to fish with. I need your reports to continue because I may fish with you next on Real Time Florida Sportsman.
Oh!
Really?
Is it be gaffable?
Oh yeah, yeah he is. This ought to be funny.
Can you get this hook out of my arm though?
It's just a little hook.
I know, but it still sucks.
Welcome aboard. Real time. Oh, got me. Oh, Houston, we have a problem. Fishing for bears with a bear hook.